right, hey folks, this is Scott, and I'm here with my mom,
Barbara.
and we are excited to bring you the next episode of Casual Saturday, where we're going to show you how to celebrate. You know, maybe you did that interview and that was really tough, or I don't know, you were just getting ready to do some things related to your job and you had a really great success, or maybe you don't even know if you had a success, but you know what? It's time to celebrate.
Yes.
And down here in Louisiana, we celebrate like Boudreaux and Thibodeau.
All the time.
So we're gonna show you how to make us some crawfish étouffée.
Yes.
And also, we're gonna tell you a few jokes to make you laugh.
We're hoping they're really good.
Hey y'all, I thought I would start out with a good Louisiana joke because Louisiana people do it like nothing better than to have fun and laugh. So of course our famous characters are Boudreaux and Thibodeau and their wife, Boudreaux's wife, Marie. So Boudreaux and Thibodeau, they like nothing better than to going down to the bayou and do some fishing. So this day they got up early and they went on down to the dock and they rented themselves a boat. And they said, we're gonna catch some fish today. So they go on down the bayou and they went over here for a little way, no fish. They went over there for a little way, no fish. Well, they take it on back down. Oh, they start catching those fish. They got the trout, they got the perch. Oh man, they happy people, happy, happy, happy. And they fish until they just about done. And Boudreaux said, we better get on home because Marie's got to cook these up for us. But we need to mark this spot because we got to come back here, man. This is where the fish live. And Thibodeau said, yeah, let's do that. Boudreaux said, go on and get over by that tackle box and get yourself a mark salade. And we're going to mark the spot. So Thibodeau, he said, well, yeah, let me go get that mark salade. So he go get the mark salade. So he kind of clear out the bottom of the boat, and he marked him a big X right at the bottom of the boat. Boudreaux said, Thibodeau, you fool. Thibodeau said, what you mean? I did what you said. I marked the spot, the big X. Boudreaux said, Thibodeau, how you know in the morning we're going to get this same boat? Today we're going to start with a typical New Orleans dinner. We're going to have crawfish étouffée, some wonderful rice, and French bread. That's my kind of meal. So we're going to begin using what in New Orleans is known as the Trinity of vegetables. We're going to start with chopping up our bell pepper, our onion, and our celery. After we chop these, then we're going to chop our green onions and a little fresh garlic because garlic's good just about anywhere. And after we chop these, we're going to fry them in real butter. For this recipe, we're going to want half the bell pepper. So we'll put that here and we'll seed it. You want it sliced up, not too fine, because really the chunks of seasoning add a little texture as well as flavor to anything you cook. Then we'll start with our celery. You're going to want 2 stalks of celery. We'll take off the tough end and this portion of it. So we have our bell pepper and our celery, and now we're going to begin to cut our onion up. Meanwhile, we have separated our green onions into 2 separate piles because we want to fry with one, and then we want to put some tops in. After everything is cooked with étouffée, you just throw her little tops in. It's just lovely. So on we go with cutting our onion. So we're going to smash this garlic a little bit, which makes it a little easier to peel, and chop that up pretty fine, because you don't want a big piece of garlic, but you do want the flavor throughout your meal. And the last thing we do is we're going to take these green onions, we're going to kind of put them together, going to chop off the tops, roots area. What you want to do if you really want to enjoy cooking is to keep everything as neat as possible as you go, clean as you go, and it just makes it a more joyful experience because you don't end up with a mess of a kitchen when it's all done. So there's our green onions. You take the last bit of them, they get kind of tough, throw them away, and here's your vegetable medley of what you're going to make wonderful étouffée with. To begin with, I'm going to take a tablespoon of this butter and I'm going to chop it off because we're going to use this in our rice as additional flavoring. So now, my wonderful daughter-in-law Vienna is going to assist me in the kitchen. She's a dream of a daughter-in-law. All right, we're going to stick the rest of that butter, almost a quarter of a cup, into that kind of a medium-high, medium flame. And as that butter begins to melt, we're going to go take all of our vegetables, Vienna, okay, and we're going to just slide them right into that butter. And in New Orleans, we use our hands to cook, but we make sure they're clean. All right, there you go. All right, Vienna, if you will start doing that, begin to fry that up, I'm going to start putting the rice together. And our rice, we're going to take our pot with our pat of butter. We're going to add 3 cups of water. In New Orleans, we go by recipes sometimes, even if it's our own, but we sort of just keep adding things and doing things till it's just right. So we're going to put our pot and turn that on. We're going to take a teaspoon of salt. We're going to add it to that water, and we're going to bring it to a boil. Now, as you see, our vegetables are somewhat wilted and a little clear. We don't want to over fry them because they will cook some down in the broth and in the étouffée itself once it's put together. So to this mixture, we're going to take and add about 3 nice tablespoons of flour because we're going to make a roux. And we're going to stir that with all our wonderful vegetables. And that's our thickening agent. Now we've fried this down for about 5 minutes till you have it, all that flour mixture with the butter into all the vegetables, and it's even beginning to stick to the bottom of the pan just a little. At this time, we're going to add our shrimp stock. So we're going to take that and we're going to pour that all into that wonderful vegetable mixture, and we're going to let it cook until it thickens. So you keep stirring as you're cooking this, and then you begin to add your seasoning because you want to do all of this. You want to this to taste delicious before you ever add your crawfish. A teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of, quarter of a teaspoon of black pepper, some onion powder. Just begin to sprinkle some of that in. A little garlic powder, a little garlic salt, quarter of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Okay, so I'm going to put a little water here and just keep it in case we need some more. I've tasted it. Delicious. It doesn't need anything further. And we're going to begin to add the crawfish. So we have 2 bags of Boudreaux Louisiana crawfish tails meat, and you want Louisiana crawfish. Don't go for something else. And we're just going to add this. Begin to separate your crawfish. Put a little bit, just a tiny bit of water in your crawfish bag because it's got some yum still left in it. We're going to shake it up and pour that in. And we're going to just stir that till it comes to a very low boil. And that's how it's looking. Your rice is almost cooked. Now, as Vienna is stirring this, I'm going to go over and I'm going to take the rest of these green onions and I'm going to have some prepared to throw in that concoction just as it's cooked. It adds a little taste, it adds a little crunch. And you want, when you like your tongue and your palate, it really enjoy textures as well as taste. So this adds an additional little bit of texture to the crawfish. There you go. You know, life is short. I'm 69 and I got to be 69 before I even knew it. But it's been a good life. And I've taken the opportunity through my life to celebrate my successes. Life is not always, it doesn't answer every cry of your heart, but it ends up being quite good. And so celebrate yourself, celebrate your success. If you didn't get the job you want, that's okay. You have something in your future that will be as good or better, or it even might start off lower, but you can climb the ladder to success. You just have to not quit. All right, our crawfish is finishing up. Our rice just needs the bay leaf taken out and fluffed up. We're going to add the green onions to our mixture of crawfish, and we're going to cut up some wonderful New Orleans French bread.
From our family to yours, laissez le bon temps rouler.